Hi, this is how to make a woven heart envelope for Valentine's Day. It will look something like this. It's woven and it has an envelope component to it where you can stuff it full of candy or other goodies. We are going to start with a piece of construction paper. You want to start with a regular piece of construction paper which originally measures 12 inches by 9 inches. Okay, once you have that piece of construction paper folded in half, you're going to fold it in half again. So you end up with it in quarters, symmetrically folded in half, and then in half again. Okay. Once you have that paper folded in half, and then half again, you're going to cut it in half along the width along this side here, so that when you open it up you have the 12 inches along the fold. That's the 12 inches, the length here, and the 9 inches has been split along the fold, so that's only 4.5 inches. Okay, and the other half the same, 12 inches along the length here, and around the fold here, this fold length here is only 4.5 inches. Okay. Once you have that, you're going to mark, this is your fold side here. Around your fold side, you're going to mark 4 inches up. I do this by making a mark at 4 inches, about right here. And then I come down on this side and mark 4 inches again with another dot. And then I take my ruler, connect the two dots to make a nice straight line that I know is exactly 4 inches from either end. 4 inches and 4 inches. So now I have a line that is 4 inches away from my fold. After that, so you can see where my fold is, I'm going to go across the bottom here, and starting from one side I'm going to mark a 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. Now because this is 4.5 inches long, you're going to have a little slack piece right here of a 1/2 inch right here. Don't worry about that, that's actually going to get cut off. Now along the line where I put my 4 inches, I do the same thing. Starting from the same side, I mark an inch, an inch, an inch, and an inch, and then I connect them the way I did before, connecting from this point to this point to make sure that I've stayed exactly 1 inch all the way up, connect this point to make sure I've stayed 1 inch all the way up, and the same all the way across. So that I have 4 sections that are exactly an inch going all the way up to my 4 inch line that was down here. That's all the way up there. Okay. Alright. So, again, what you have is a piece of folded paper. You can see where the fold is. And your 1 inch sections here. This one I drew on the other side so that you can see that I went the other way and I have the 1/2 inch or so, a 1/4 inch or so leftover piece right here. Now you are going to cut this piece off. Okay, so that you have an exact 4 inch piece of folded paper. Right? The next thing that you will do is you will take your compass and you will set your compass so that it hits right here at the middle 2 inch point, and set it out so that it hits right here. And you will rotate it around. It'll probably hit about right at the top there. I might have it set a little high there. Okay, so you're just going to run it right around there. so that now you have a piece that looks like this. 4 inches across the bottom, 4 inches up to this line right here, and 4 inches across, and then a 2-inch radius on your 2-inch radius on your semicircle that you drew. That gives you a 4-inch diameter. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is to cut each one of those pieces from the fold. Let me show you the folded side. I'm going to cut them up to your beginning of your semicircle. A little hint here, you do want to make sure that you go just a little snip past the line here. Don't go under it, just go a snip, just a smidge beyond it. If you can see that I have gone just a smidge beyond my 4-inch line, this makes it very much easier to weave it later on. Okay, so you're going to go and do this with both of your sides so that you'll have 2 of these. You'll have 2 of these. They can be the same color or swap with somebody and have 2 colors, 2 different colors. At this point, you're going to cut your semicircle out. You can use regular scissors, or you can make it a little festive and use fancy scissors that have a nice fancy edge on them to go around your circle, and it makes it kind of festive. Okay. Now, when you have your 2 pieces, I'm going to use contrasting colors so you can see them. Okay, we have the 2 pieces cut. You're actually going to weave them. Okay, so I'm going to start by weaving. I go over, so I have captured this first white piece with the red and gone over it, and now I have to go inside the white one with the red one. Okay, and now back out. The white one has to go inside the red one, and then this last one, it kind of feels a little odd because you're not really going in or out, but it's just kind of sitting inside. But that way you get the same thing on both sides. Now I'm going to go with the second red strip. This first one went on the outside, and then this one can go on the inside then, so it alternates. This one goes on the inside. This one will go on the outside of it, and this one will go on the inside. And then this is where that little bit of spacing helps to get that open to there. Sometimes they're a little hard to open there. And slide that one right in. Sometimes they don't always go in so quickly and easily, but you kind of force them in. And then you slide it down. Slide them down. Okay, and the next one's following the same way. Now, one thing I forgot to do on this one was, you see my pencil marks here? Not so attractive. If I had remembered, I would have, before I started weaving, I would have turned it wrong side out after I cut it, and then my pencil marks would have been on the inside, and it would have looked a lot prettier. I forgot to do that on this one because I'm already into the weaving. I'm just going to leave it as it is right now. But I'm going to make that suggestion that you turn it wrong side out to hide your pencil marks. Okay, so then this one's just going to go inside of this one here, and this one will go over it, and then again this one will go inside this white one here. And you can just slide them on down, kind of use a little tugging and force, just don't rip it. Okay, and then you'll finish with the last one. I don't think I cut this one deep enough in here, but the last one would fit right in there and you'll finish it up. Okay. When you're all done, you can add some ribbons and finish it up. And then they should open up completely inside. Oh, this one's got the ribbon on it. Let me take that off. You see? They should open up completely inside like this. So you have the heart here. And this one has the pretty edging on it. And it opens up to hold stuff. If you've done some wrong weaving, it won't open up correctly all the way. And then you can just fix that. Okay? And that's how you make your heart. Now, for those of you who really did well at this and like to do this, find it very fun and challenging, you can actually upgrade and actually make a more intricate heart. And this comes from a regular sheet of colored paper. It's a little more difficult, requires a lot more measuring, a lot more difficult measuring. And again, you can make them out of two different colors. You can put ribbons on them, or just make it out of one color. Okay, and I'm not going to go through the particulars on that one other than to show you the measurements. So if you like a challenge, here are the measurements. The measurements for this one is out of a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of colored paper, like what you would use in a copier or any sort of printer. So it's not made out of construction paper. So you can use different types of normal sized paper. But because the paper is slightly smaller, your measurements have to be slightly different. So on this one, you're going to measure 3.5 inches over and 3.5 inches over for the second one. And then you'll have like a little bit of waist over here. Okay, you're also going to measure 3.5 inches high, which I noted over here that it's going to be 3.5 inches high. Half of 3.5, by the way, is 1 3/4, 1 3/4. So you'll measure 1 3/4 over to this point, and that'll be the point that you use for your compass, that your compass will pivot around. So you're going to have a 1 3/4 inch radius. You're going to divide your pieces into 7 1/2 inch sections here. So I said you're going to split that into 7 1/2 inch strips. Both pieces. I didn't do it on this one so you could see the marks and the measurements. Okay? And again, remember when you're cutting these to cut them just a little deeper into this part of the semicircle. Okay? And it will help you with your weaving. And again, it comes out just a little bit more intricate, has a lot more weaving in it, but if you like that sort of challenge, it's a great thing to do, and to do it with the regular size sheet of paper instead of a piece of construction paper. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed making your heart, and have a great Valentine's Day.